Hello friends. Today is Journal Pals and we have got a fun cover to work with today. And so we are going to get going in just a minute. We're going to give just a moment for some people to pop in, and let me bring up where I can see comments, because that would be a lot more fun if I can see comments, right? So hang on one second. You guys, what are you up to? Let me know when you come on and say hello. I'd love to know what you're doing today. Let me know if you've got people who are in some of that terrible hurricane area. Let us know let us know that they are safe if you've heard. We just feel so bad, and I know that I know help is on the way, and they're already doing so much, and help can come from such unexpected places. Hi Connie, hi Jimmie Lou and Deborah, Tammy. Jimmie Lou, don't forget that I have to be shared into the group from a personal thing. You may have already done that. Just a reminder. Hey Carol, how are you guys doing? This has been a really wonderful day. Oh, I tell you what, we've got such a pretty day outside here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the temperatures are starting to go down a little bit. But I said that, and it felt so nice this morning. And then yet I was out just a little bit ago, and I couldn't believe it's back over 90, and I'm like, okay, well that's not exactly the kind of weather that I'm looking for, but hey, at least it's not way up in the over 100. Hi Carol, Nancy, Diane, Judy, Rebecca. You guys, thanks for popping in today. This is always a fun event. Everybody gets a piece of the same kind of a fabric to use for a journal cover. Hi Jean. And so, you know what? It's just a lot of fun to see what everybody does. So I've already worked a little bit on mine, and so we're gonna go from there, right? We're gonna move forward, and I know I'm not gonna get done with everything I want to do with this journal, and so I'll be working on that some more tomorrow, because tomorrow I will also be in the Junk Journaling Jamboree, and so that's in the Junk Journaling Jamboree group. And so if you're not a part of that, you should go over and join it. It's a Facebook group, so you want to be sure and join that, because it just makes it easy to find everybody. All you have to do is refresh your browser between each person, and then it makes it super duper easy. And we like super duper easy, right everybody? Hey Molly, how are you doing? Let's see, Darla, Edith. Okay, you guys. Let me see here. I'm just gonna put myself one other peach. I don't know what I was saying. I must have popped something up there that said peach. I don't know. There's no telling, right? Oh my goodness. Anyway, this is what we're gonna be doing. And I'm first today. Sometimes I used to think, I wasn't sure if I liked to be first, because it was I don't know. It felt like the pressure was on, but you know what? I kind of think if I'm first, the pressure is not on, because then I don't watch anybody else first and know what they've done and feel like I have to live up to some expectations. So you guys, this is what I've done today that I've already got ready for us. I have fixed this journal to where, or the cover, and I've put something in here to be a couple of pockets, just little lace panels. And I've done 2 of them, and I'm probably going to put a dab of glue like in the middle, wherever my spine, or wherever I sew in my signature. I'm probably going to put a little bit of glue right there, but I don't know. I think it'll just make it a little bit more tight right in this area. So this was a placemat. And I love how some of it, there were places that it felt like it was actually this actually seems to be a seam, like the fabric is folded over right here. But I think a lot of the places on it were just a strip of the fabric, and they just sewed through it to make it more, quilted looking. So you can always, use fabrics that have squares on them, or, some design, and you can make it doesn't even have to be squares. Any kind of fabric, if you just kind of go around some of the design with stitching, it is a cool way to make something, to quilt, right? Hey Diane, Sue, welcome, Chris. If I haven't, said hello, I'm still happy you're here. I might have missed your comment or missed your name popping in. Let's see. And I am live here on Facebook as well as YouTube. And let's see we got Jean over on YouTube watching today. So this is what I've gotten done so far. I went ahead and I only cut one side off my placemat. And by doing that, it left a nice finished edge up here on one edge, and only the bottom edge, is kind of frayed. But with this stitching, I went ahead and just cut right below a row of stitching, and I'll show you what I mean. You can see that this whole thing is cut, right? That's because I just cut right below that row of stitching. Hi, Tamara. Constance, nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. And so that way, I still have this little bit. And you guys, I made it, I don't know why, but it's kind of tall for my pages. Now, why? I don't know. But it's got plenty of room. And I may not be happy that I made that choice. That remains to be seen. But all I did was I folded over this edge, and then I decided I didn't want this lace going clear to the edge because it just felt like it would be so bulky turning it over. So this is the way it's going to fold. It's going to fold like this over the signature and then come around here for this edge. Now, what I'm going to do for a closure yet, that remains to be seen. But like I said, tomorrow is Junk Journal Jamboree, and I'm in that tomorrow too. And so I know I'm not going to get everything done today, and so I'll be working on this tomorrow too. But I thought it would be fun to, go ahead and get started. And I didn't want to, I wanted to have the cover pretty much ready so you could see, what was going on with that, and then explain a little bit to you about what I had done. So since I trimmed this off over here to fold, I thought, well, it'd be pretty to just kind of go ahead and put this same little, binding or trim along here. And you guys, I have got so many little fall colored trims. I meant to leave my whole bundle out here and I forgot. But you know what? And I don't know if they still do it. I hope they do. But Michael's sometimes has these, and the last time I looked, they told me they did not send any to the store for the holidays. But they were online, and I could have ordered online. But I was sad that they weren't sending them to the store because it's this whole bundle of trim, and I waited until they were on sale, so I really only paid something like about $5 or so. It is an incredible amount of trims that are, I don't know, they might be about a yard long. And so I pulled those out because either a year or two ago, I had gotten a bundle that was fall related. So it had all these fabulous fall colors in it. Hi, Rose, Lisa, Janet. And so what I did was, I just pulled that out and I thought, I wonder how much of this I could get out of one strip of the trim. And so look at this. Here is one here. This was only one piece. Well, I only tucked it in right here. And so it goes all the way across. And so I got the top and the bottom, and I had just the perfect amount, and I turned the corners under here. You guys, this is glued. I used the Fabric Tac glue, and it is glued on. And so, if I want to go back and go ahead and sew through all of this, I can do that. I may or may not go ahead and sew the signature right into this today. I'm not sure, but we've got a whole bunch of fun things to do. And so one of the things that I wanted to do, let's go ahead and let's work on the cover a little bit more. And I found this, I was looking at stuff that was cream colored or gold or whatever. Well, I didn't really care for the way that what I had looked, because look how white this is. And so this was white trim, and I thought, well, I kind of like that. But I really like this, I don't know, what would you call that? Kind of a coppery, well, it's kind of a rust color. I guess that's what I would call it. But one of the reasons that, I think a lot of times we let the fabrics or the papers that we use kind of help us determine, where we're going to cut or how we're going to use it, right? I think that we're probably all like that. And so on this piece, one of the reasons that I cut it super long, and like I said, it's way longer than I need for this size paper, right? But here's the deal. If I would have cut it this side, this part, I hope you don't mind me kind of talking to you about my thought process. Because if I have this here and I made it just the perfect size, it was going to be rubbing my pages all into the trim. And I really didn't want to do that. I mean, I have made it smooth, but I thought, I did not want to do that. And so if I made it longer, this is what happens on the front. When we fold it here and then we fold it over, this was what I wanted to do. I wanted some white right here because I really liked the way that it had this white. And I just liked the way that it pulled it across. And so that was kind of why I decided to make it a little bit longer. Hey, Lindy, how are you doing? Katie, how are there? So this is what I want to do. And you know what? It was really interesting because this line of stitching right through here is like, it just kind of wants to fold right through here. And oh my goodness, if you can get something that kind of wants to have a spot that it wants to turn or fold, it just makes everything so much easier. So I did have and most of my vintage doilies, I mean, they're vintage, and they are kind of dark cream colors. There's anything that would have gone really well with this. And so I just pulled this out. It was one of these new little flat doily things, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use that. So if I put that on here like this, it comes around. You've got this, this semicircle around here, but you can still peek in and see the other colors right there. So I thought, I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just tack some of this down here. I'm just going to go ahead and put the glue just along some of this area where there's kind of more fabric than just kind of the stitching showing. And then I'm just going to, kind of put a little in other places so we can get it tacked down, and it's going to stay. Once it has time to dry, it's going to stay there. Now, do not confuse, and I'm telling you this from experience, do not confuse Fabri-Tac glue with Fabri-Fix. And if you read on the, on the bottles, you might think that Fabri-Fix would be fine and it'll serve your purpose well, but trust me, it won't. And the first time I ever had a terrible thing happen using Fabri-Fix, I got a hold of the company, and it's made by Beacon. And I had a lady reach out to me from the company, and she was so sweet. And she even told me that, she said no, that, for what I was wanting to do, that Fabri-Tac was a way better choice. And she even sent me a little sample bottle. And I thought, well, how nice was that? So I'm going to go ahead, and I want to have this bent here because, a lot of times when you have something and you open it And if I were to keep this all flat and stretched out, when I were to turn it, it might keep it too tight. And I don't like tight stuff. I don't want it to be tight. So now I tell you, oh my goodness, are you talking about what I was just telling about Fabri-Tac and Fabri-Fix? It's a hard lesson to learn. And you guys, the last few times that I have been at Hobby Lobby, they think that they have done a real service to everyone, and they have put all their glues closer up in the front of the store, all their adhesives, and they've got big displays now. Okay, well, that's fine and good if you would have the glues we want to use. And so I said, do you guys have any Fabri-Tac? And so they, escort me over, and the manager stands there looking. I'm like thinking, dude, I've stood here and looked already. I've looked all around this display. It's not anywhere here. So, you're just wasting my time and yours because you don't have any. And so then he goes, oh, I bet we have it over in the fabric section. No, you don't, because I already looked there too. He goes, oh. I go, yeah, you don't have any. And I said, all you've got is tons of Fabri-Fix. And I go, we don't want that. And so every time I happen to be over there, I look. They still don't have any. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's nice to have the products that you need in places that, they want to think that they're your be-all, end-all, right? Oh, my goodness. Hey, Amber. Oh, I am so sorry, everybody. So, yes, I'm Christy from My Artful Adventures. I do all kinds of things. Paper crafting. I've spent years sewing, so this is, working with fabric is nothing new to me, although doing kind of junk journals like this, it's a little different. It's not exactly what I have done for, years. But, okay, let me see. This is what I wanted to do. You guys, I'm going to make a tiny little piece out of this right here. I'm going to cut this out. You guys are probably like, oh my gosh, can she make gluing take any longer? Oh, where's my tiny scissors? Oh, here's some. These will work. I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to cut it out. It's kind of like what I was telling you I did with the big piece. I'm just going to reach in here and cut super close, as close as I can to those stitches, because I want to release this tiny little square. I could have cut that. I could have cut straight through here. Let's do it. It'll make it easier. So we're going to cut that. Oh, why didn't I think of this before? And I cut through here. So now I'm just cutting the stitching off all the way around. I just want a little square of this fabric. Sometimes when you didn't have a plan for something for an embellishment, use some of the stuff that you've already got going on. Okay, so here's this. And now I'm going to make that kind of raveledy on the edge. You guys are going to be so surprised. I usually don't. Everything I do for paper crafting is usually a little bit more tidy, right? And I see everybody like doing things that are messy and they've got cute strings of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I don't do that. And it's not that I don't like it when I see somebody else do it. So all I'm doing is, and you could use like a straight pin for this, you just want to start taking some of these threads, and basically you're kind of making your own fringe, and you can see how straight or not straight your cut is when you start doing this kind of thing. So you're just pulling these out, and as we go around, we're just making a little fringy thing. Now the deeper that you go in there, the harder it might be to get those little, one of the little threads out. But you just keep working it. And then I'm just going to keep going around here, pulling those out. Man, I haven't done anything like this for a long time. You guys, I've got so much glue on my fingers doing all of this today. Oh my goodness. Hey Linda, how are you doing? Yes, yes, that's true. But you know what? It's so funny because there's some things I do, Lisa, that, they're not neat at all. Like mixed media, I'm glad to get messy and have a mess in mixed media. So I don't know. It's kind of a disconnect, right? People can come and go. Is she gonna be neat or is she gonna be messy today? You use sandpaper to rough the edges. Like of fabric? Now that's a new one. Is that what you're talking about, Miss Lisa? That's cool. Now, if you were I've done this on things and, you only wanted to go so far in with making your little raveledy edges. And so you'd actually have to put some stitching around so it doesn't continue to come unstitched, right? I want this to be a little bit more messy right here. We're getting there. I know you're probably like, this is like watching paint dry. Trust me, we're almost there. Okay, I think that's plenty. That'll be plenty. And so now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack this right on here. Well, I kind of wish it had some more out. Hang on a second. I kind of want some more frayed edges. My goodness, I never thought about doing that, Lisa. Ever. That's interesting. She was saying she just takes, sandpaper and roughs the edges up. That is an interesting idea. See, and this is why we like to get together and share stuff, right? There's no telling what we might learn from each other. Okay, so Rose says that you don't see a difference. You're talking about you don't see a difference in Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix. Is that what you're saying? Well, I think you can use Fabri-Tac on more surfaces. And the reason I knew that it wasn't going to work for me was because I actually used it and washed what I made. And Fabri-Fix is not going to hold up if you try and do that. Not with what I did anyway. So, there could always be something different. And if you go to the Beacon site, I'll try and find it and post it again. But a lot of manufacturers that make more than one kind of adhesive, a lot of times they'll have a chart for you, and you can find out the kinds of things that it will work well on. And I know Beacon has a chart like that, and you would be surprised at the things that you can use Fabri-Tac on. Okay. All right, enough. Let's get going here. Oh my goodness. I'm almost halfway through my segment, but here we've got little things made here. We're just going to tack that on. You know what? Let's put it kind of in the middle. Okay. And see what I mean? See how much give there is right here because I didn't glue it, like solid, and because it has that bend. But look how nice and flat it is like this. So I mean, it's just got a little something, and we'll probably end up doing something along there. I don't know. Okay, let's get going with this. Here's my pages that I have printed and have ready to go. Oh my gosh, you guys, let me look real quick and tell you well, I can't get there real quick. I forgot to write down this person's store. It was from Etsy. And you might could find these. She's got several of them, and it was called Bright Autumn. And so, just really pretty little things. So I've already laid them out in the order that I want them to be. And so this, well, I guess not, because that was not going to be the front. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait. I have 2 pages down here I want to cut. There's, I'm like, no, please. No. Okay, this is what I'm going to have for the front. Like as we open our journal, this is going to be on the front right here. And just some really fun pages. And so when you print out, I have printed all of these out, and I printed I printed 2 things like this. These, this is mine. I did these. I did this kind of gingham look check, and I made one in brown, and I made one in orange. And so what I did was, or what I wanted to show you, if you're, those of you who have been doing this a long time, you'll know that the way that I wanted this one to be on the front, if I put it like this, it's going to be this way on the front. So if I printed all of these with one picture side on one side and, the more plain print on the back, then you have to decide how you want those to be in your book. Okay, so I lay this one down here, and this is how this is going to be, to turn in for the front of the book, or the signature. And then, like this. So now I'm going to have 2 matching, and that's okay because we're going to put something pretty on them. And then, then I'll lay those down, and I'll say, which way do I want that to be? So most of them, I have laid them down just with the picture side up. And then as you lay them down, then, I'm going to get one of these on one side and a picture on the other. And so as we go through, they're all going to be like that. Each one of them. No, Connie, I don't believe that's her name. And, so many of them are kind of similar, right? Oh, Rose was answering your question about 3-in-1. No, 3-in-1 compared to 4. Oh, yes. Rose, I think you are absolutely right. 3-in-1 is very much like Fabri-Tac. That's exactly right. Thanks for clarifying that so I could glance up there and see what's going on. And then I thought it would be fun to put like a doily in here. And doilies come apart. Those paper doilies, they'll have like several. Oh, that's kind of a lot. It felt super heavy. I'm going to take one of those off. It feels like there's still several layers there. I don't need it to be that thick. And then again, you're still just going to be, changing these. Now this one I have 2 pictures together. And I did that because I wanted another place in the book where we could have, another place that was something to add other things beside the total full page pictures. Okay, so that's how you decide that. And then you can have one that is clear across at the center of your book. Okay, but before we do that, I have this bag. You guys, I wanted to use, those kind of real thin brown paper bags that you get things in, and sometimes they are what do I want to say? Usually they're a flat bag. I see stores have them like that, but you know what? I think somebody here at our house bought something in one of those here recently, and that's what made me think of it. But I don't know what it was, and I don't know where it went. Probably in the trash or recycling. So I was kind of sad. But I did have this bag that I got from something at the Pinners Conference. I bought some handmade soap from a little shop, and this is what they had. Now, I don't need this to be Let me grab one of my pages so I know how big this should be. I want to make this into a pocket to go in before we do our signatures. So I don't need it to be super tall, and yet I do want enough to turn under. So I am going to go ahead and cut this back edge off and straighten it up. You know what? Let's go ahead and cut some off here. Nope. Let's cut. Oh, you guys, you know me. Let's cut this straight because I got this side that can be flat and make that a straight cut. So I want that right there. And now let's cut this here. So we can put this right along here, and I know that edge is straight and sort of. And there's another seam in there where I cut it, so that'll be. You guys, I don't know where my big scissors are. I kind of think I left them in the other room while I was getting ready. All right. I tell you what, some of these glues, you know, for a while. One time I picked up a glue. I was out of town and I got a little bottle of glue. And it was from Beacon, and they had it at Dollar Tree, and I cannot remember what they called it. I tell you what, I am pretty sure that it was about the same as Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1. And I was so sad that I could never find it again because it was a nice little size bottle. Okay, so now we're going to cut this side off. And I have to decide how big we want the pocket. So we'll glue along one side for the bottom of the pocket. And at the top, I am going to make the top turn down a little bit. It'll be kind of like sewing. We'll turn it down so that it has a nice fold along the top for kind of some structure. So I'm not going to, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and fold this in. That might be kind of deep. Let me see. Let me grab a page. Probably kind of deep for what we're doing, right? Yeah, that's too much. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's get this part done, and we can always cut it off the bottom, because the bottom I'm just going to glue. So, I don't know, I can already tell one side's bigger than the other. Well, that's not too bad. Well, boy, it was pretty close. And this is not going to be as wide as our pocket. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some glue on here. And we'll just put a little bit. I'm going to put it on this side because then I can know how far out it can afford to go, right? All right. Just a little. I don't want so much that it takes it a long time to dry. So, whoops. Okay. You guys, when I'm done on here, I will go back and find the lady's Etsy shop, so we'll know exactly who made the prints. Okay, so this I am going to fold in again. Yeah, I should have folded. Something like that. Let's trim a little bit of that off. kind of miter that corner a little bit. Because I want a nice edge. Well, I guess if I'm going to do that, well, you know, there's so many ways you can do stuff like this, you guys. This is the way this is going together this time. I tell you, when you start thinking on the fly, just don't tell them what you're going to dream up. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. And let's check this out. Wow, that's almost... Wow, I can't believe how close that's going to be. Okay, and now I don't need, well, this is not the way I wish I would have done that. It's going to be fine. It's all going to work, right? That's what we have to tell ourselves. Except I can't get it. Too far out. Need it a little bit shorter. Okay, that'll work. So let's go ahead and, oh man. Oh. It's a good thing I used that glue. My other one would not have released. It would not have released. You gotta get closer to that score mark. You can tell I do a lot of scoring. It's not really a score mark, is it? There we go. And now let's go ahead and glue this down. I'm just going to tuck it under. That way my top piece covers all of that. And now I'm going to glue these two together. And you know, you could, except it's just going to make more wrinkles in the paper. I could put it like this, and it would be where we would, you know, make our, where we would sew it through the journal. Like the signature, and we wouldn't have that end like that. In fact, let's do that. Let's do this, and if we're going to do that, I'm going to leave it a tiny bit apart so there's not that much thickness going through there, because that would be a lot. So I'm still going to go ahead and glue here. I'm going to glue these edges together. Like that. Oh my goodness. Do you guys, when you make things, do you just dream stuff up and then it's like, how do I do that? Do you think you should iron your bag? No. Because it's a junk journal, I'm not going to. You could if you wanted to, but I think it's going to be fine. Good idea. And you know what? You could. Okay. So now I've got just that one layer through there, and it's going to hold together because it's going to be in between other pages. And let's give this one more final trim so it's nice and straight on the bottom. In fact, we were talking about how that was going to be too tall. So let's check it out. I just want it about there. So there we have it. And let's glue this little puppy down here at the bottom edge. Well, and now I've glued the side. You guys, oh my goodness. This is like pretty humorous. And then I could go back. If any of those white edges are showing, I could go back with a little bit of ink. I don't think that's going to show though. And I am making a mess on my mat. It's not going to be any worse than the mess I made all over my fingers though earlier. I have glue everywhere. Okay, let's do it. Let's decide where we want to put this in here. And I don't know, it was just something different, you know? Just something different. Ooh, that'd be kind of pretty. But it's got kind of these gray tones. And I thought, you know, that would be kind of fun to just have that in here. Like that. So let's just stack them all up. And I need to make sure that this little puppy is kind of in the middle. In fact, oh, I should have, okay, I need to fold these all, you guys. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on the glue. Whew! Jimmie Lou, right? Oh, she doesn't iron her clothes, and she's not gonna iron a bag. Oh my goodness, there's been a couple of times lately where somebody has had their clothes in the dryer, and then you know they're done, and I'm not hanging them all up or anything, and so they'll usually, if they stay in the basket, they're just going to be all, or you know, in the dryer, and if I take them out and throw them in a basket, they're just going to be all wrinkled up. But I have decided that if I turn them on air dry and let it run and let them cool off a little bit, they are not real, they're just not as wrinkled as they were. And so somebody was saying something about that the other day, that they were surprised how, you know, as many clothes as they had there, that they weren't all wrinkled. I go, that's because of my new technique. But yeah, you could, if the bed, well, you know, I didn't really think that one was too bad. Sometimes I've had them to where, yes, I would have had to try to iron them to make it work. So I don't want to make fun of your idea at all. It is certainly a valid point. I'm going to put this there and just, you know, fold these little babies up. Such pretty ones though. I thought it was so nice for, you know, I have another set that's, you know, much darker, way more orange colors in it, darker, just darker tones in general. And when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is so pretty. Now look, this gives us a chance to put that right in half and tuck that on. And it doesn't have to even go at the bottom. When I get ready to tap it all down, I think I'm going to try to make sure that it doesn't fall clear to the bottom. You love ironing, Dolores. You know what? I used to not mind ironing. One of my first real jobs, my mother got me, and it was at a little dry cleaners and laundromat that wasn't too far from us. And after, so the other ladies that worked there would do all the laundry and all of the, well, they had, you know, it was like a self-serve laundromat too. But if you wanted, I mean, you could pay them and they would do laundry too. But they would take all their time doing the dry cleaning and the laundry. And then when I came from school, then I did pressing. And oh my goodness, I would press, you know, so I would just do all of that while I was, you know, there in the afternoons. I'm going to Well, I guess I can wait on that. Well, if I put it up here, it'll be fine. That doily sticking out at the top, I know it's not even. It's kind of bothering me. Okay, so there we go. And we're going to open this up, and everything's where it should be. Make sure all that is nice and tight. And grab some little clippies so we can sew our signature together. But then when I got married, and there was this one guy, he worked at some kind of a bar and grill, and he brought his shirts to be done, and he had 21 or 22 shirts every week. Every week, you guys. And, okay, what do you guys think? Should we put this clear down at the bottom, or should we bump it up a little bit? And make sure it's at the bottom. What do you think? Should we put it up, or, you know, just let it be up a little bit higher? The bottom or up higher? What do you think? You guys, I am sorry. I've just been blabbing. What do you guys think about that? I'm not getting I'm looking over here and I don't even see my video. That doesn't usually happen. Okay. Thank goodness I see people talking now. Okay. At the bottom. Molly says up right where it is. Bump it up. Okay, let's just leave it there then. It's already tucked in there. Let's do it. And this one I think needs to be a little tighter right here. Make sure it's in the middle. Now I just always kind of squeeze and feel and make sure those pages are where I want them. Okay. So and I like using this method of grabbing some other needles for, oh you guys, let me see if I can feel where that is. You know what? I need to make sure that pocket is where it's going to get a couple of, yes, it is. It needs to make sure it has a couple of stitches in it. All right. So, anyway, my mother-in-law told me one time, she said she never saw anybody that could iron as fast as I could. I laughed. I told her, I said, you probably have never seen anybody that had as much practice as I have. Oh my goodness. Always different. Who didn't call the, how many signatures am I going to make? You know, I think I'm only going to do this one signature in here. But you know, that could remain to be seen. I might look and see once I get this sewn and see what it looks like there. I'm not sure that there's enough room the way that we're folding that to make two, but we'll check that out. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to poke here about an inch down. You know, and this is not my, I don't know what has happened to my other little awl. And I like to make sure it's going to come out the center of the back. And one about here. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, well, this isn't very even on the front. Oh well. I forgot to tell you, on our Journal Pals thing, Jimmie Lou sends us the fabric that we're all going to use, and then we're free to use, you know, fix it however we want for our cover. And then, you know, and each person decides what they want to use for the inside pages. But then when we sell these, we want the proceeds to go to a charity of our choice. And so my charity is going to be the Alzheimer's Foundation. And both my grandfather and my father had Alzheimer's. You know, back then, for my grandfather, nobody called it that back then. But I know that's what it was. And so that's kind of something very close to my heart. I tell you, that's a sad way to go. I think they call it the long goodbye. And it was. Oh, my dad, he's a tough old dude, I tell you. They put him on hospice 3 different times. And then they would take him off. It's like, oh, okay, well, he's doing better. I just laugh. I go, I never heard of that. I never even knew that was a possibility. One of the last times that and he used to think my daughter was me. You know, as time went by, he would think that she was me because, you know, people were always telling us that we looked so much alike. And I would find a picture of myself from, you know, like when I was much younger. And I'd glance at it and I'm like, is that me or Kathy? You know, it's like, no, that was Kathy. Okay, so in through the middle and out through the back and then back in. It is a great cause. We have a friend who sometimes has an event for that, a big fundraiser that the Alzheimer's group has every year. And I was in that one year. I missed this last year. I need to see if she's gonna. I know she lost her mother to Alzheimer's too. Okay, and then back out this way, all the way. So you go from the bottom here all the way up here. You guys, I'm not even going to have any time to hardly do any more of the fun stuff. Good thing I already decided we could work on this tomorrow. I will show you a couple things I've got ready. Hopefully I can get something done. Well, that guy's not going in there. Come on, come on, come on. How are you adding it to the cover? I'm just going to sew it through the fabric, Jimmie Lou. I'm a simple girl. I'm just going to do it through there. Debbie, you got lost in Hobby Lobby. Sure you did. Okay, so one on each side here. And then we're going to tie a square knot. So left over right. Whoops. Oh my goodness, that might not be square after that happened. I don't even know what I said. Okay, I'm just going to do a double one now. Okay, so right over left, left over right. And I saw somebody do another little cute thing she did with that to do an extra little knot thing. But I'm not going to do that right now. I want to try and get another couple things done on here. Something cute. Can't just leave it like this for the day. My goodness. All right, you guys. There we've got that. Now, here's our front. Now, check this out. Well, maybe. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so I printed some of the other pages and cut them out. Some of these were not pages I even cut in here. And I've got some fun things to put in to make some like pockets or tuck spots. I thought this was super cute. So we're just gonna kind of go along this edge over here and put it along the bottom. So we've almost got, you know, like our side that's got the 3, or the side, the whole side is almost open. I'm going to pull it down here so it's right at the bottom. Put that on there. So that can be a fun little tuck spot right there. And then this was on the same thing and across from it, and I thought, oh, that's cute. Let's put that on. So got a little pocket there. Sew on the sewing machine. You know what? I probably will, just to make sure that it's on really well. Okay, so here's the deal. If I wasn't going to do it on the sewing machine, I would simply go through my signature again and put it through the, you know, through the back cover. So this just allows me to work on the signature like it is, and, you know, without fighting the cover right now. But I would easily, you know, I wouldn't have any problem at all about doing that and putting it in the cover, putting it here, and then just sewing, you know, the same thing again. But, you know, I think it would be smarter to just go ahead and run it all the way down. But see, this is what I was saying, how much bigger, how much more space I've got at the top and the bottom. So it's a kind of unconventional for, you know, the size like that, the size of my journal cover. But are there any rules? I mean, are there really rules in junk journals? No, I'm saying no, there aren't. You wish you had a sewing machine. Yeah, I tell you what, it will probably depend on how much I have to fight my sewing machine. I've had some problems with it lately, and so I don't know. We'll have to check that out. Okay, and now I've got another couple, and I know we've got another place in here that has, oh, here's one right here. So I thought this would be fun. So I've cut these out right along here. And I'm just going to glue those on. And I've got some other things that we'll add to it tomorrow then. So be sure and come back. Now, you guys, up after me is, who's after me, Jimmie Lou? Cynthia. Cynthia is going to be up after me. Oh, I just had a brain melt. And I can hardly wait to see what she's going to do. It's so fun to see all the things that people do. I mean, you know, they're always kind of the same, kind of different. So we can either make this I'm going to make this another tuck spot there. And I think this one, let's make this one a pocket. And we'll just do the 3 sides on this one. But there's so many more goodies that we can add in. So if you're in Junk Journaling Jamboree, all you guys have to do is just refresh your page, and then you'll be able to find Cynthia in there. And that's one of the nice reasons to join the group. So now we got this little pocket right here. Oops, better leave that alone so it can dry, right? You're loving it? Great! The Shabby Heart by Vines. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. The only rule is to get that signature in right. What do you mean? To get it in right? Do you mean as opposed to upside down? For me, that would be a thing I would have to make sure that I did, was not put it in upside down. And so see, here's the center to where, you know, we've still got this that is, you know, all the way across. So you guys, I'll fix the description when I get off of here so that we can, you know, be sure and know where I got this. It was on Etsy. So there you have it. So, you know, lots of fun. I love the colors, and I love the cover. Thank you, Jimmie Lou, for this wonderful piece, and thanks for letting me play with you guys again this time. Now, this is yet to be determined what kind of a closure it's going to be. That part, I do not know. I just don't know. But, yeah, so, I did lots of goodies getting it ready, though, today. Look at that. That's a lot more junky stuff than I normally get done before I go live. So usually I spend so much time doing the rest of the stuff. I hope you guys have had a fun time. I've had a great time being with you today, and I look forward to seeing what everybody else is going to do. So it's kind of like, same cover 3-way, or same fabric, 4 different books, right? Be fun. I love watching everybody and the changes that they make all their stuff go through. You guys take care, and I will see you again tomorrow. We'll work on it some more. Thanks for joining me. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.